Shit 90 Shows Taught Me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to slay another day? So are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sarah Humphrey. Sarah, how are you?
Jess, Tara's 23. Me came back and she's like 90% Slavic, 10% Irish, and 0% demon. Who knew?
No demon in there, yeah.
Who knew? I thought that she would at least be like 1% demon, maybe even 0.5. I have something on my 23andMe, which, by the way, enjoy all my shit, 23andMe. Have a field day with all my data.
I'm going to clone you.
Don't, because you don't want my genes. But even my 23andMe is like I have like a 0.2%. In there. So
yeah, I was a little disappointed, to be honest. We'll get into it, but I was a little disappointed that there was no demon genetics in Tara. But you know, we're talking season 5, episode 6 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer family, and of course we'll do our little Cordy's corner at the end. But I was happy, I was very pleased to get a Tara episode where we really explore a little bit more about her. She's been pretty mysterious since we've been introduced to her. The only, and I always gripe about this, Sarah, but I'm going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Can we not spoil what we're going to be doing when we show us a previously on? The moment we got a flashback to an episode from last season where Tara's like, let me put this little dusty dust underneath the bed covers. No one sees it. I'm like, okay, well, that's coming back around. You know, whatever. It did. I was very pleased that like, what we predicted was kind of what, at least what Tara thought was true, which is that she had demon blood.
What we kind of said, like even if like we thought that like even if she was demon,
she was a good demon,
like Anya, a useful member of society. Is
I love that Anya spoke up about it as well. I adored that Anya was like, excuse me over here. But yeah, let's get into it because we kind of pick back up actually where we left off last episode, where Buffy is confiding in Giles about Dawn, about Susie, about the fact that she is the key, she is a portal, she is not really her sister, she needs to protect her. I loved this. I love that Buffy goes to Giles first. I think it makes sense as he is, you know, like a father figure for her. She trusts him. And I like that she trusts that he can handle this information and not then turn around and treat Susie differently, because that is the reason she cites as why she doesn't tell the rest of the Scoobies.
Well, Giles doesn't treat Susie well anyway, so
get out of my shop, Susie. Stop breaking things. Stop touching things.
Is so mean to Dawn. I mean, honestly, like everyone's a little bit mean to Dawn except for like Willow and Tara, but
Riley seems nice to her.
Yeah, in a way of like a significant other is nice to a younger sibling.
Yeah.
So like in that way type of thing.
Not like a peer. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, like I thought that I thought it was huge that Buffy went right to Giles, because I also feel like in previous seasons we've seen Buffy hide things from everybody, including Giles, namely Angel coming back to life and her trying to bring him back to health. That was like an entire season of a secrecy from Giles. And we said at the time, like, you know, if you can't trust everybody, you need to at least trust Giles. He's your watcher. He'll know what to do, or at least he can help guide you. So I was really ecstatic that Buffy went right to Giles. I think that was, you know, the first line of command of who she should, especially because she essentially earlier in the season said, I need you to be my watcher again. So for her to actually use those resources, I feel like it's really huge, shows character growth. And yeah, like, of course, Giles is going to find like a good way to thread treating Susie as the key and like a person that we need to protect. And also the fact that like he can just like thread the needle, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I think Giles is the perfect person to confide in. I think that the trouble is going to be in I'm of like a few minds about this, of whether or not Buffy should be telling the remainder of the Scoobies about her. On one hand, it takes a village in a case, in a way, right? Where like to protect her, the more people that know, not that they would be like, oh, who cares about Buffy's sister? Let her go get into trouble. But like just to be aware of like what they should be looking out for. I think you get into tricky territory with someone like Riley, where he comes over to babysit, right? Like he's watching Dawn. She's 14 years old,
No,
but
okay,
whatever.
hold on. I don't think that Riley came over to babysit Dawn. I think that Riley came over to unpack the stuff that they moved out of the dorm room. That is why
Oh, I thought he was
there.
specifically there to watch
No,
her.
no, I'm pretty sure that he was there because they like moved all of Buffy's stuff out of her dorm room because she's moving
Right.
back home. She says it's to take care of her mom. I think it's like maybe like 60-40, take care of mom slash watch over Dawn.
Sure.
Either which way, like 60 being the mom, 40 being the mom, like whichever.
I think I
fits.
agree. I think both reasons are why she ends up
Yeah.
moving back home, and she's
Yeah.
telling her mom's illness is a very easy excuse to be like, oh, that's why I'm moving, without
Yeah.
having to say the Dawn part.
Yeah.
But
So,
regardless
but
of
so she moved. Everybody moved all their stuff out, which is also
Right.
a very funny scene. Especially like with Anya, like with everybody. Everybody was really great in that scene. Actually, it felt very
Mhm.
like lived in. But yeah, he like probably drove the truck back to the house and unloaded, and he said that like I unpacked everything so it looks like you never left. So he wasn't babysitting Dawn.
Well, regardless, he's at their house, right? And like
Yes,
he witnesses this whole scene between Buffy and Dawn, where Dawn is trying to literally just go to her friend's house who lives across the street. And Buffy is like, no, you're not going there. Like really being overprotective of Susie. And Riley's like, what's going on? Like that was a little strange. I don't quite understand. And it's so clear that Buffy is hiding something. And again, like we've talked a lot about like, okay, it seems like they're kind of pulling away, or like Buffy is pulling away from Riley. They're not as close as they once were. They're they seem to be drifting apart a bit. And I think it's really clear Riley is not a complete idiot. Like it's clear to him that she is holding something back, that she is not telling him something. And I almost feel like it's a bit of a misstep if someone senses something is going on. I think then you kind of have to tell them, because if you don't, it just looks even more suspicious. And I don't like what's gonna happen, right? Like Riley's just gonna be more protective of Dawn. I understand her concern of like they're gonna treat her differently, but I think you kind of have to like weigh that out with like, okay, but if I don't tell Riley, he's going to sense something is up and be upset because he thinks I don't trust him. On top of the fact that she doesn't, Buffy doesn't know this, but Riley already is like, she doesn't love me. Like I love her. So it's just adding something else that is a problem to your relationship that I think is kind of avoidable. I don't know. What do you think in terms of who Buffy should tell? Should she tell anyone besides Giles?
I okay, so like the problem with like the more people that know, the more likely it is to leak out somehow. Or so I don't disagree that even like the less people that know, the better, because these people, her friends, are already going to protect Dawn as much as they can because they believe that Dawn is Buffy's sister, and they have like essentially like people like Willow and Xander have known Dawn, known as in like quote air
fake
quotes,
known,
since the beginning of high school, so they probably see her as a little sister as well. So they're going to protect her no matter what. So in turn, but I'm really glad that you're saying this stuff about Riley, because I totally agree with you. Like Riley is, I mean, the relationship is dying. Like they are a bouquet of flowers that are not getting watered, or at least like Riley's flowers are not getting watered, because he has spoken up to Buffy about how he feels like he's not getting clued into her world. He already feels like he's kind of useless in their group, and like she's bringing him in less and less. And he feels like she's keeping stuff from him based off of things from their past, but also present. And it seems like it's all really affecting him because we see him, apparently he goes to Willie's every day to drink. And it reminds me of like some, if I, sorry if I've told this story before or like shared this before, but it reminds me of like when I moved to St. Louis, and like some advice that you gave me was like, yeah, like you can move to St. Louis, but like you can't just move to St. Louis for a guy. Like you need more shit than that. You need stuff for yourself. And I feel like Riley is in Sunnydale at this moment. And we know this is to be true. Graham said the same thing purely because of Buffy. Like, my guy does not have a job. My guy does not have ambition. He is literally like moving Buffy's, like his world revolves around Buffy. He has nothing else but Buffy. And at least in the previous season, when he was with the Initiative, at least he saw himself as an equal to Buffy because they would fight side by side. And that's why their relationship worked so well, because they were fighting towards a similar goal and they were evenly matched. And it wasn't just the fact that he was like a fraction as strong as Buffy. I mean, nobody's as strong as Buffy, but besides Glory, but who's more strong than Buffy. But it's also because like he was a leader, he had a mission, she was a leader, she had a mission. So I just feel like he's suffering in this relationship because he has nothing else. He has no other purpose than to be her boyfriend, which is what Graham said last week, which is of course infuriating. And I think like the funny thing is like when your friend tells you these things, your first response is what Riley did, is get mad. I got mad at you when you said that because I was like, fuck you, I already did some things. But like you were right, like you're absolutely right. So I feel as though my guy, he needs a job, he needs a purpose. Like he can't be staying around. Like it's amazing, he's a great boyfriend. I'm so glad that he has like all damn day to like move all Buffy's stuff from her dorm room and put together her bedroom again. Like that's so nice. But also like, let's get a job. Like let's do something for you. Like let's get back into, I don't know, like take archery lessons or something, do something. I don't know, what do you think?
No, I agree with you. I think the problem is he does have ambition, but he doesn't really know where to place it now, because he went from the top of the food chain in the Initiative with drive, with a purpose, with something to do. And then he not only lost that, but he lost a lot of his like super strength or whatever, his abilities, which coincided with that. And so now he basically just feels like Buffy's minion. And not only that, but he's her boyfriend and her minion. And he doesn't really, so his entire world revolves around her and taking orders from her and not really being able to make his own decisions in that way. He doesn't call the shots anymore. And so I think because of all of that, and he's being now left out of whatever she has going on, it's unsurprising that he's then like spending his time at some gross dive bar. I mean, I thought it was nice that we did see, even though he did get like hit on, first of all, he knew she was a vampire, so he wasn't going to go home with her anyway. But it was nice to see him very quickly rebuff her and being like, no thanks. Like, I don't have any interest in this. Like, it doesn't seem like he's going to stray from the relationship.
No.
I think it's just a matter of like, he can only invest so much time and effort into someone who's not going to reciprocate. And I think he's really feeling that. I mean, when Buffy is with him, she does seem to be like enjoying herself. She does seem to like him, but I think he wants more than that. And I think because he doesn't have a career, hobbies, anything else to do in his life, no friends, right? His circle of friends is now Buffy's friends. Because of that, I feel like it's almost because that person then becomes your sole focus because you don't have anything else going on. So it amplifies any of the red flags or problems that you may have in your relationship. She even seems surprised that he showed up to Tara's party after they had a little bit of an argument. Like she seems like, oh, you showed. Like she's so happy he's there, but almost like she wasn't necessarily expecting him to be there because of it. And I'm like, that's not the kind of guy Riley is. Like he's gonna show up.
You know, I think it is. I kind of feel like for Buffy, just because like how much she does have going on in her life, if Riley is not in front of her, she does not think about Riley. And I
Yeah.
don't mean like, I'm not like blaming her for, I love Buffy, but like I think that she's just like, in order for her to focus on a boyfriend slash a partner, he needs to be like right in front of her. But otherwise, like I don't know if she really like thinks about him or thinks about their relationship when he's
Yeah.
not like right there. Um and I mean I and you know, it kind of sounds like mean, but also once again, she's a 19-20-year-old girl that has the weight of the world on her shoulders. She's like now taking care of her ailing mother, now taking care of her fake sister that just like evaporated from nowhere and is like the key to a secret portal, and she has like all this shit to deal with. Like how can she focus on being a good partner, a good girlfriend
Yeah. I
to
do think
somebody?
I think it's a bit of it should be a bit of a red flag for Buffy that she isn't confiding in Riley about this, right? Like I think if you, and again, she's very young. Like I'm not trying to like say she should be behaving like a 30-year-old would, but like theoretically your partner should be just that. They should be a partner for you. They should be someone that you can lean on in difficult times. And she leans on him in some ways, but I think she picks and chooses what she leans on him
Yeah.
with. She doesn't give him the heavy stuff. And I think that's like a bit unfair in terms of as you know, not that he's entitled to the information, more so that like she is bearing the burden of all of this stuff. And one of the reasons you have a partner is to share the burden of life sometimes with them. And so like she's really, I think, maybe not giving him enough credit, or to your point, she's so busy that like when she's not with him, she's not thinking about him, she's focused on 10 other things. When she's with him, but I don't think she's including him in all aspects of her life like he would like to be included.
Which makes the relationship surface level. And it
Mhm.
seems like Riley like really wants to be like all in deep. He wants to
Yeah.
penetrate her in every single way,
Yeah.
her mind, body, and spirit. And he's he basically he wants to ring before spring her. And she says, I am not ring before spring. I gotta save the
Mhm.
world first. And I think like this is, I mean, like once again, I just think that this is a relationship that needs to be watered, that is not being
Yeah.
watered.
It's getting
And
crusty dusty.
it's getting a little crispy on the edges. But it's
Yeah.
okay because like I honestly like if this is how it's going to end the relationship, like I'm okay with that. It's very
He's not
realistic.
dead
He's
yet.
not dead. He's not a cheater yet. I mean, like, I'm not gonna like rule out the cheating thing. Like, he seems very loyal, and I like what he said to that vampire, where he was like, "My heart belongs to another." So dramatic. But I mean, like, I'm not gonna say like that's not gonna happen, but I hope it
He could
doesn't.
cheat. I mean, they've sprinkled in some stuff in terms of like he has the ability to cheat, which we
Yeah.
all knew. Like, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. Of course, he has the ability to cheat.
Everybody has the ability. Even the Uggos have the ability to
Exactly.
even freaking Seth Green had the ability to cheat, and he's a
Yeah.
super Uggo.
um. So yes. So that is kind of where we stand with their relationship at the moment. I want to talk about Tara's birthday
Oh
because
my
that
god.
is kind of like that is what this episode is revolving around. Tara's birthday is coming up. She's turning 20 and Willow wants to throw her a party. And so she's reminding all the Scoobies who've forgotten, by the way, they've forgotten that they're going to her party. Typical, right? And I like that the show is willing to admit, like with this conversation between Xander and Buffy, where they're like, Tara's nice. We know she likes Willow. We literally don't know anything else about her. And I'm like, you're literally sitting in a magic shop, but like, okay. But I'm like, you can get her spell components. But either way, I like that the show is willing to admit that, like, yes, this character is a part of our story, is dating one of our main characters, but we don't know a ton about her.
Yeah.
And even though she's around us a lot, and Willow loves to insist to her constantly, no, you're integral to the group. Like, you are really one of us. There's always been a bit of a wall up. And I think this episode did a really great job at fleshing out why Tara has had that wall up. but I still liked it calling itself out with the Buffy and Xander conversation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that some of our best episodes of TV come from birthday episodes. One of our favorite episodes
Mhm.
of Dawson's Creek is Dawson's 16th birthday, which is essentially a work of art. And I
Mhm.
feel like this did not disappoint. I really enjoyed this episode and a lot of and of course, I really enjoyed all of the Tara stuff. I thought that it was all interesting. My first question about this conversation between Xander and Buffy, where they say, she's around and she's super nice, but I don't know anything about her. What is the difference between, and I'm going to say this because I really like Tara and I really like Riley, but what's the difference between us not knowing anything about Tara and her that meaning that she's boring versus us not quote unquote knowing stuff about Riley and she's boring? Because nobody's ever said that Tara is boring, but everybody said that Riley is boring. What's the difference when we don't know much about either of them and they both have more mild personalities? How about that, Jessica?
I think the difference is the way the show treats the characters. Whereas last season, Riley wasn't in the main credits, but he basically might as well have been with
No,
how much content.
He was in the main
Well,
credits.
either way, they gave him first billing all the time. He always got the heroic moments. He always was given these moral quandaries. He was one of the main characters, and it was kind of we don't even know this guy. We're just putting him forward. Tara, I think I would say the opposite in terms of she's not really given a ton of content up until this episode. We don't really know much about her. The show hasn't really fleshed her out all that much. I wouldn't necessarily, I guess I would say maybe she's a little boring up until now because we haven't spent much time with her. Whereas I would argue that we spent a lot of time with Riley and I still really couldn't give you massive personality traits beyond probably loyal, right?
Mhm.
Those sorts of
Once
things.
again, just because his personality traits are not snarky, mean-spirited, likes to throw tombstones, that does not mean that he doesn't have a personality. It's just a more mild personality than what typically makes an interesting character on television.
I mean, I would say Willow is very nice, but I would still say I could say way more about her than I could
You
about
mean
Riley.
Tara. You mean Tara.
No, Willow. I'm saying
Oh,
Willow
Willow?
is kind and nice, but I would also say
Well,
she's incredibly intelligent,
we've known Tara since the first, I mean, excuse me, we've known Willow since the first episode.
right. I'm just saying that I think there is a difference between Tara and Riley. And I also think a big component of this as well is, especially because this takes place in the late 90s, early aughts, whatever, the fact that we're getting LGBTQ representation automatically makes Tara more interesting because I think her story is that much different than straight white man Riley, right? I think there is a big difference there. I also feel the way they've portrayed these two characters, Tara feels like she has more depth automatically because it feels like there is something hidden about her. It feels like there is a secret about her. It feels like there is always something she's not saying. I don't really feel that about Riley. And obviously we spent all last season exploring his character, so we kind of know about him at this point. But I never really felt beyond the initiative aspect, there was secret hidden things about him. Whereas Tara, I always felt like there was something more going on there. There was always something I want to find out a little bit more about what the hell is going on with her. Now we have those answers. I do agree with you. I think they're both mild personalities, and that might not be for everyone. Not usually what I gravitate towards. I do think it's interesting to see her with Willow. Because Tara is relaxed like Oz was to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, but she doesn't piss me off like Oz does.
Right.
I think Willow very much has a type, and I do feel like Oz and Tara fits into a similar bucket. And I don't find Tara boring. I just was like, hey,
Right.
it's
a good question.
I just wanted to ask the question.
Yeah, it's a good question. I do think they're different, and I think this episode goes a very long way in terms of telling us who Tara is and why she has been this way. And it's because she comes from an abusive household.
Oh my
Like her
God.
family is
Yes.
horrendous. We meet her brother, her father, and her cousin. And they, it seems like when Willow meets them, it's like a shock to her that not that Tara has family, but like that she hasn't really learned much about these people. She probably hasn't heard much about them. And they come into town because they know it's her birthday. And her dad immediately starts like there's like this threatening atmosphere. Like Tara's stutter comes back a little bit, which I feel like is a huge red flag in terms of like she's not comfortable around them, right?
Yeah.
Like they haven't heard from her in a few months. Her dad, when he gets her alone, basically threatens her and says, like, do they know about you? Do they know who you are? I think according to her father, basically when women in their family turn 20, their demonic side comes out. So I don't know if like physically they change, but they become evil essentially.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Like when Sabrina turned 16, magically, well, literally magically, all of the powers came out. But it's like, especially when you turn 16, it kind of reminded me of that. And yeah, like it sounded like it made it sound like the day that she turns 20, she gets like demon face and is like a horrible wench. And he insinuates that's what happened to Tara's mom. And that's why Tara's mom is like no longer with them. So, and yeah, I think it's like really interesting, the whole thing. Like these people seem like, I don't know, they seem like hill people, like either hill people that like is very much into like they have like
like trad wives almost is how the vibes. I got trad wives because when we later find out that like especially when Amy Adams playing
cousin Beth, yeah.
When cousin Beth confronts Tara and is like, how dare you do this to your dad and brother? Like you're supposed to be taking care of them. It felt very much like, oh, you're gonna be like churning the butter, like you're not allowed to go outside,
Yeah,
like you're not allowed to leave the house, like you're gonna become an evil demon if you leave. Like them saying she has part demon in her is all to keep her at home,
which is
out from having her
crazy.
own life. Like
How
it's
Handmaid's
so
Tale is
manipulative.
that? I was so like dumbfounded at the very end when Spike did like
The punched
clutch
her,
thing
yeah.
was the punch. And then he was like, yeah, like, this is kind of what I speculated. Like, this is just like a family myth to keep women in line. I was like, holy fuck. Like that like took a crazy turn. I was like, I was not expecting that was the twist. Like, I really did think that like she was part demon. I don't give a shit.
Same.
Anya's full demon. And I think that she's the best thing that's ever happened to this show. Angel, Spike, they're all demons. Like Oz was a fucking werewolf. Like, I don't fucking care if like Tara is part demon, but the fact that it's all to keep women in line was so dystopian and so like Handmaid's Tale and like even creepier, honestly.
Yeah.
That was the truth. And the fact that like cousin Beth, who is also a woman, like falls in line and like, I mean, I don't know if she's not 20 and she doesn't realize, or she is 20 and she's kind of like the wives in the blue dresses in the Handmaid's Tale, and she like goes around with the whole thing. But like it was insane because it's like obviously her dad knows. Does her brother know that the whole thing is a lie? Like probably. Like this is crazy.
On top of that, it could be that Beth, I think they were saying it passes down through the mom. So if it's Beth is related via like her father is her dad's brother or something, like there's a possibility that she doesn't actually have the gene that they speak of. But the entire thing felt like such a great commentary on like LGBTQ representation and the fact that like, because obviously Tara is also like gay, so like the fact that also works well, but like the way of like trapping your kid at home and do your friends know they're not going to accept you, like do they know who you really are, and this idea of found family, like literally the episode title is family, and the fact that like at the end when her parent or her dad tries to take her back and Buffy, even though Tara literally lied to all of them, put a spell on them so they couldn't see demons. They could have died. Like they could have been in big, big trouble because of what she did. Buffy is still willing to stand up and say, you're going to have to come through me first. Like you're not taking her if she doesn't want to go. And everyone else kind of jumping in and basically being like, we're her family now. It was such a beautiful commentary on like LGBTQ relationships, found families, just like your friends are your family. I loved all of that. I thought it was just like, obviously very on the nose and that it was really easy to spot, but I still think it probably meant a lot to a lot of people when this episode aired specifically, because at that time, I doubt there was like a ton of this on TV. So even seeing it now, I really appreciated it. But even thinking about the fact of when this originally aired and how many people it probably was able to like touch and just make them know, just because your family doesn't accept who you are does not mean that others won't. That does not mean that you are a bad person or there's anything bad about you. It's just you haven't found the right family for you yet,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that once again it was just like really beautifully done. I do feel as though sometimes the show loves to hit us over the head with like the witch slash LGBT innuendos. Like I feel, and I think like it's just like a sign of the times, and it's not entirely the show's fault, but a lot of the things that especially the dad was saying throughout the episode, I was like, okay, like I'm like, I get it, like you don't have to spell it out for me, like very cute, because he like besides
you're still doing those witchcraft, like you're still sleeping with women.
Yeah, because like the thing was like not only is like Tara going to become like a demon, quote unquote, in like any second now because of her turning 20, but also they're very bent out of shape about her doing witchcraft. And maybe that was what her mom got into that was bad. I don't know. It's like the combination of the demon. Honestly, the dad probably has switched the story so many times to just color whatever her daughter is doing. Like I'm sure the dad is like, oh yeah, like that lesbianism, that's why your mom died. Like I'm sure
it makes you even more evil as a demon.
Yeah. So like I'm sure that like he just like molds the story of what happened to his mom, which is very sad. She probably doesn't even know entirely what happened to her mom, because like he just uses her as like a story, like a
a cautionary tale
of like what you should not do, so you're not like your mom, so you're not like a sinner, so you're not like a this or a that. But yeah, so I thought that because like he finds that like he finds her at the witch shop, and he goes to her dorm room, which she leaves open, which we really shouldn't do, but finds all this like witch shit all the time, and like he's like very bothered by that as well. Like everything that she does, he does not approve of, but he wants to bring her home to control her. I also one more thing, did we switch the cat? That I don't think, wasn't the cat black, or am I just like,
I think the cat was black with some white on it. So I think
this was a different fucking cat. We can't be switching cats. What's the cat's name again? Princess Snugglesworth?
Miss Kitty Fantastico or something?
Miss Kitty Fantastica. We can't be switching the cat all the time,
Yeah, I got a consistent cats, that's what we care about.
Yeah, they definitely switched the cat. Like we can't be switching the cat.
All right. I don't know.
Cat
I didn't notice.
Was a brown cat with white. The other cat was black and white.
Oh,
but it had totally different markings. So
wow, big fail on Buffy's part. Get it together.
Like try to keep the cats similar. I don't know.
So Tara does a spell on the Scoobies so that they won't be able to tell that she's a demon, I guess, is to hide her demoninity. But unfortunately, the spell that she casts makes it so they can't see any demons. So
that's a mistake.
Real bad. Real big faux pas on her part.
This is a real Willowism. Tara has been spending
Willow.
She's been spending way too much time with Willow. This is a mistake that Willow would pull. Willow's getting stronger, and Tara's pretty stagnant because obviously now she's been like repressing her power for all this time, because she has in the back of her head her dad and her brother being like, don't go to the witch shop, that's a sin, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So but Willow's getting more powerful. She's messing up less and less, but this was a real flop, honestly.
Yeah, so when the Scoobies get attacked, because we have these demons called the Layach demons or something, they are disgusting. First of all, keep your tongues in your mouths, you weirdos. They have like these like serpent tongues, and they're sticking them out constantly. And we see, just gonna point out, Dr. Ben is back in this episode, and we're hearing I think the reason we're using him as a way to like get us the list of the viewers information, which is that more and more people in this town are losing their minds in the same way the security guard did. And it is very concerning. There's like no history of mental health problems. So he's getting told this by another worker at the hospital. He's going to change. So he's in his locker room, shirtless, I might add. Just saying, the show loves a shirtless man that is going to become a love interest. He is getting changed, and we see one of these creepy demons sneaking up on him until our lady, the lady in red, grabs him and is like, She hangs him up. She tortures him a little bit. I love this girl. I love her so much. I love her so much. The fact that she is like so bothered that Buffy is just a Slayer and they're so common. She doesn't even, she's like, ugh, I can't even get my hands dirty killing Buffy. I'm going to get you and your little demon friends to go take care of her for me. I was like, damn, girl.
She's pretty fabulous. Like, I'm really happy now that it's pretty much confirmed that she's like the big bad of the season by everybody who does such a good job at keeping us spoiler free. I'm joking, but no.
We knew it the minute we saw her.
Well, I don't know. Like okay, whatever. I'm very excited that she's our big bad, that she's going to be here hopefully throughout the season, because she's really awesome. Like, she is nutty as a bat. She is really cool and gorgeous and hot. She is literally like fire on a stick, and she's interesting. And I'm like, I don't know what you're up to, but I'm afraid of you because you're fucking insane. And she's interesting. She's funny. I think it's funny that Buffy was trying to describe her, and she's like, well, she's a human. And like, besides that, she kind of reminds me of Cordy. Like, she's kind of an asshole.
Love the Cordy name drop.
Yeah. And she's sassy ass. Like, I don't know.
Yes, the fact that she also loves to monologue at people always will tickle me. And so she sends these demons after the Slayer, after Buffy. They all get attacked at the magic shop. The Spike stuff. We have to talk about the Spike stuff, where he is having sex with Harmony while picturing fighting with Buffy, basically.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there.
So
we've all imagined at times somebody. While you're doing somebody.
Right. So.
Yeah, right. Right. I'm telling Will, you freaking dirty slut.
Yes, Will is the only person I've ever slept with in my life. So then later on, Harmony heard some hot goss while she was out shopping.
Yeah, which I also love how like the goss circuits are like really raging. She's like, oh my gosh.
Wait till I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she finds out that these demons are going to go kill Buffy, and Spike says he's going because he just wants to watch, but we know that's not true. And when he shows up, he immediately starts fighting them because, again, Buffy and the gang can't see them. They can't even see Spike because he's also a demon, which I thought was very fun. And he does help. I love that the show is like, yes, Spike definitely has feelings for Buffy, but he doesn't mean he's a good guy. Because there are times when they're like, when the Tara's dad is like insisting on bringing her back, and he's like, I don't care what happens. It's like, I'm not getting involved, and I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, but he is involved because he inserts himself into the situation. Like, he comes to quote unquote watch Buffy get killed, but we all know he's worried about her, and he wants to be there to make sure that like she doesn't really get killed and protect her, which he winds up doing. Like, these feelings are like single-handedly going to be the reason why he becomes an official member of the Scoobies. Like, he's not going to, if he has these feelings for Buffy, he's not going to be able to keep up this like bad guy persona, and it's going to like reveal itself sooner than later, I think. But I think the unrequited crush is probably the best place for Spike to be in at this moment for me to tolerate him, because I find it kind of funny that like he has a big crush. She doesn't even like really think about, he's dreaming about her, he's daydreaming about her, and like she only thinks about him once again if he's like right in front of her. So which I think it's like really funny now when like they actually get together in whatever amount of time. I'm going to puke all over my computer keyboard. But until then, I can tolerate this unrequited love. I think it's funny. I think and I've said this a billion times, the times where I like Spike best is when he's the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think the thing I like the most about it is we've all been there where you bicker with someone constantly and then, love and hate, it's such a fine line.
I'm
Like,
not a bickerer. I'm a flirt. Like I flirt, but I don't think I'm a bickerer.
see, I definitely would have put myself in the more bicker category of like you poke fun at someone if you like them.
I don't
And
do
I think that he likes the back and forth with Buffy in that way. He likes someone who calls him on his shit. He likes someone who is just as strong, if not stronger than him. Because think about it, like when he's picturing Buffy while having sex with Harmony, he's picturing them fighting each other.
Yeah.
Like he's not picturing them making out. He's picturing them fighting. And yeah, there's heat and there's steam like in that fight, but it is like the power between them. I think he's attracted to the power that she has, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's
considering
interesting.
he loves power and he wants to be in as close in proximity as he can to it,
Mhm.
it makes sense that he's finding himself having feelings for Buffy. And I love it. I think it's very funny. I love that he's trying to deny it so hard. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they let this stick around for most of the season, just like the Spike finding him, like, inserting himself into situations to be near Buffy, I think is very fun.
I think it's fun too. I find it interesting. Like I wonder what's like the breakdown in society of like if you have a crush on somebody, are you like poking fun, bickering, like teasing, or like for me, I feel like I'm very much like I am like very sweet. Like I will not poke fun. Like I will like defend if we're in a group. Like I like think back to like when in the group chat, like when people would make like poke before me and my husband were together, when people would make fun of him, I would always be like, hey, like actually I think it's like not really like his fault or blah blah blah. Like I would always like defend him. Like I never once poked fun at Adam in our group chats.
Yeah, I'm not like that at all.
Yeah,
No,
like I'm like such a lover. I'm like, no, like I'm like, you're so sweet. I don't want to, I feel bad about like making fun. Like I'm like, no, don't be sad. Like I don't want to, but whatever. I think that like it's just like showing affection different ways. But like I can definitely see you like I don't know. But also you're not sitting here making fun of Will.
No.
So maybe just never mind. I'll stop. I was gonna be so rude. But
so Tara's birthday, they do end up having her birthday party, very well attended, and I was like, who the fuck are all these people? I didn't know Tara had so many friends.
Tara does not have so many friends.
Willow has friends.
I don't even think Willow has friends.
Willow is definitely very social at college. She's in so many clubs.
These are paid friends.
Oh no.
She went to Craigslist and said, come to party. I will give you $5. Like, make my girlfriend feel loved.
Oh, that's really sad.
I'm joking. She has so many friends.
Well, they're all there. And the main thing that is like the big moment of this episode of the scene is Tara and Willow doing a little slow dance together. It is so supremely sweet.
So cute.
And then they start levitating.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. It was so lovely.
I almost shed a tear. It was if the Zoloft wasn't Zolofting, the tear would have been shed. Although, if you want to talk about the last time I cried, if you give me 1 second, they just did this like Dawson's Creek class reunion, and I was watching like videos on TikTok, and like the entire cast came out and they were singing I Don't Want to Wait, and then like James Vanderbeek, who couldn't come because he has stage 4 cancer and got like a double stomach flu, like couldn't come. So sad. Lin-Manuel Miranda took his place as Dawson. That was weird.
Wild.
Whatever.
Yeah. What a weird choice.
Whatever. Lin-Manuel Miranda is everywhere and nowhere, but everywhere. But then like James Vanderbeek's like 2 daughters came out and started singing, and then the rest of the family, he has like 98 blonde cherub children, like they all came out. I was crying my fucking ass off. I was like, I have such a love for that show. And maybe I'll have the same sort of love for Buffy one day. Maybe I'll be crying on TikTok watching Buffy edits, but Man, that really got me.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a big show for us. And I mean, especially because he's sick and, you know, all of that stuff. Yeah, I think it makes it even more emotional.
Oh, but one more. Also,
Yes.
I am full in. I am like, please, at Sea Witches, like, please cast a spell on Joshua Jackson and Katie Holmes and make them be together again because they look so cute together. Like, please,
yeah.
please.
They got the
They
chemistry.
have such good chemistry that, like, every single shot they were like holding hands and looking at each other with love. Like, Etsy Witches, please don't let me down. Just do it for me, please. I'm not
Yeah.
going to pay you any money at all. Like, I'm not going to, but please do it. Okay. Anyway,
Wow.
Tara's birthday party. It
Yeah.
was a great birthday party, and
It was a great
the
party.
floating dancing was so sweet. The whole thing was so sweet. I love this couple. I think that they're a really great couple. I think that once again, Tara, I think, fits the bucket of like who Willow would be, and I like Willow leaps and bounds better than I did Oz. I love this couple. Probably at this moment my favorite ship of the show, because Riley and Buffy are crusty dusty right now and they're not long for this world. So now I'm just going to be all in on Tillo. Tillo? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's either Tillo or Wara.
We can't say Wara.
No, it sounds horrible.
It's a little hard to say.
It's Tillo, yeah.
Tillo. Yeah. I mean, I really like them as a couple. I think it's just like really sweet. It's very wholesome, very like just them floating. Oh, so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the episode. I think it was a really good one. I thought it did a really lovely job at like not only expanding on Tara and kind of her relationship to the group and who she is, but also it did a really good job at like pushing the story forward of like, okay, what's going on with Dawn? How are we handling that? We got to see a little bit of the Buffy Riley relationship, and we had some really fun Anya moments of her now working at the shop.
I love how Anya's like, no,
Tara.
I don't want to do stock. All I want to do is the money stuff.
The money stuff.
Yeah. Our fiscal queen.
I love her.
Yeah, I think everybody had like a lot of really great moments. I think that like Xander had his typical like funny comments. I think that Anya was great. I love like the whole crew standing up for Tara at the end, being like, we're family. Even Mr. Giles did it. I think that it was even Dawn did it. Dawn was like, I love how Dawn is like, she's so fearless at times. It's something that like only comes, it reminds me of early Buffy. Something that only comes with youth when you haven't been burned yet, how fearless you can be and like just jump in head first. So I thought that those were all very special moments. I think the found family stuff is very profound, very relatable. I think that a lot of people see their friends and think of them as their true family. And I think that is like, it's a beautiful thing all in all, that like you can choose who your family is essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, the boys were wrestling earlier in the episode. I thought that was kind of fun. They have like kind of a funny like relationship going on. Like I think that like it's kind of good for Xander to have like a guy friend, and I don't know, Riley to have a friend, even though it's once again all through Buffy, which she needs to work on. But great episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good one. Okay, let's talk through Cordy's Corner.
I did not watch it this week.
Great.
I took my own advice.
I can give you the lowdown here. So on Guys Will Be Guys, season 2, episode 6, basically what happens is Angel has to go to a Swami to try to figure out what's going on with his weird dreams that he's having.
What's a Swami?
Like a mystical person. That it's like very much like monk kind of like, ooh, connect with yourself kind of thing.
All right.
So he like Yoda. So he's going to a Swami. Meanwhile, Wesley and Cordy are holding down the fort. Well, some guy comes in with a gun and is basically like, show me where Angel is. Where is Angel? I need him now. Wesley pretends to be Angel.
Oh.
He even wears his coat.
Oh.
And so he ends up like basically pretending that he's Angel. We get some really funny moments where he's like, cover up that mirror. And they're like, we know we won't see you. And he's like, no, it needs to be covered because obviously it would like ruin the whole thing. So he ends up working for like these very rich people. And his job is supposed to be to protect the rich man's daughter, who isn't clear how old she is. I think to be safe, we should assume that she is at most in her mid-20s, but like she looks really young. And it's a little like daddy, you know, kind of thing. Anyway, so he's protecting her. There are vibes between them. She is a little snarky, Wesley and girl he's protecting.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yes. And so he's like protecting her. He even has to drink a glass of blood at one point, and it's very funny because he like chokes down a couple sips and then he discards the rest, but he puts it in a vase that is clear with water in it. It's like, what are you doing? So anyway, the girl Virginia, that's who he's protecting. There are multiple times where there are people who come up to them like trying to take her, and luckily Wesley is able to like basically just threaten them with Angel's reputation to like get them to go away. And she is like, this girl Virginia is very upset because she's always been treated like a prisoner because her dad is like protective, blah 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 blah. Well, turns out actually her father isn't protecting her. We get like a little bit of a crossover of the storylines where it turns out that the person that Angel is, the Swami that Angel went to see, isn't a Swami. That guy like killed a Swami and is friends with the rich man who Angel is supposedly working for. So rich man finds out Wesley is not actually Angel. Swami finds out, or no, Angel finds out that actually that guy isn't a Swami. The craziest moment of the episode is Angel having this guy is standing out in the sun. He's like, nanny, nanny, poo poo, you can't get me. You know, Angel takes a fishing pole and it hooks the guy's lip.
Ew, I
reels
hate it.
him in.
What? Disgusting.
It's so unrealistic and ridiculous. Oh, it's so stupid and funny.
Hey.
Yeah. So he doesn't, I don't think he kills him. He ends up leaving him there. But Wesley doesn't get found out until the morning after him and Virginia went to Pound Town, baby.
What a dirty dog.
A dirty dog indeed, because he did not tell her that he was not Angel. He did try to tell her a few times, but they just kept on kissing, you know? So she finds out. Then when he leaves, right, him and Cordy both get like kicked out. They come to find out her father, his whole deal is, no, he's going to sacrifice his daughter to like appease some like Yeska, some demon goddess woman, like on his 50th birthday. It's this whole thing. Wesley's like, we got to go. We got to save her. So they go there. They do end up saving her, luckily. This fucking guy, the best part is he does summon the demon person, and the demon person is like, I don't want this bitch. She's impure. This man thought his daughter was a virgin. And the best part is, because then we're led to believe like, oh my God, did Wesley take her virgin?
Yeah, that was like, my first question.
She's like, no, I've slept with so many people. I slept with like one of your drivers. I've slept with like this person.
What a hoe bag.
It was really great. And the best part is at the very end of the episode, because now Wesley is like seeing Virginia, he's like paparazzi, you know, or like snapping pictures of him, and they're labeling him as like a private detective. And so Angel sees it and he's like, wait, what the hell? Like, what is going on? Because when he was out of town, like Wesley was even wearing his jacket. So it was like very, if you love Wesley, like this is a very fun episode because there was a lot of Wesley. There was a lot of like silly Wesley stuff.
Do we love Wesley?
I don't love Wesley, but I do think this was a fun episode for Wesley to like fuck around in.
Yeah, Wesley is a buffoon, and he loves being a buffoon.
And we'll see if Virginia continues to be in the show. I doubt it because I was wrong last time about that other girl.
Right. I was like, and then we never see blah, blah, blah again.
Probably, but that's okay. It's whatever. So that was the episode of Angel. Again, it was fine. Like it was fun Wesley stuff. So I enjoyed that.
Okay.
But yeah, let's get into some feedback that we got. First from Marspars, in response to our last podcast, I thought Marspars made a really incredible point. If I may defend Joyce, and this might be my own headcanon, I think part of the reason she and everyone else babies Dawn and is very protective of her is part of the spell. The monks made it so everyone around her is overly protective of her because she needs protecting 24/7. So she gets treated differently than Buffy ever would. That and your usual sibling dynamics. I was like, that's a really good point.
Yeah, that's an interesting think piece, Mars.
Yeah.
Bones. Yeah, it makes me think of it in a different way, and it like lifts the annoying aspect of
Yeah,
it.
you can kind of excuse a little bit of it, knowing that like there is a spell involved, you know.
Sure, I'll play your game.
Yeah. We also got an email from Sophie. You're finally at season 5. I just wanted to say how much I've loved listening to your recaps, and I wanted to congratulate you gals, especially Sarah, with how far you've come when it comes to covering and enjoying the show.
Oh, thank you.
Episode 5 was quite lore heavy with a really big info dump. In the past, Sarah would have totally zoned out at the lore stuff, and you guys really got all of it. It makes me really happy as it seems that you guys are really enjoying and entrenched in the show. I was happy that Todd was going to be on the episode so that he could explain anything that you missed, and you didn't even need him. You got it. Not that he wasn't lovely, and he did help clear things up. We love Todd. Yeah. I love that this is now the second person that has been like, I'm so happy Todd is like guesting on the podcast because we love Todd.
Todd's a star. Yeah.
Yes.
And
He's a star in his
still
own right.
a great house guest, as I've said. Thank you so much, Sophie. I am proud of myself that I am absorbing the lore more. I think that I am interested in it.
I also think sometimes they deliver the lore is less Giles spitting word vomit and like
yes,
like it's coming from different characters. It's not always just like here's a giant pile of like a paragraph of information.
Yes.
know?
Yes. I also, it's kind of like I think that's a great point, because whenever somebody just like reads shit off to me, I never pay attention. So like when I learn a new game and somebody reads the instructions, I literally tell them every single time, I will not listen to you and your instructions. I've not picked up one word. I will learn by either seeing or doing. And I think like that's the issue with like the Giles shit and the difference that they do now, because like we see a lot of it, right? Like we see a lot of the lore. So I think versus, I think you made a great point. Yeah. That like Giles, instead of like Giles, like word vomit, like let me do monologue to you. Cause I think it's just like how I absorb information. I will not listen to somebody just going off. And that's probably why I sucked at school for so many years.
Everyone learns in a different way. And I think like accommodating those different learning styles is like something that schools probably really struggle with. And like certainly wasn't anything that they were making as much of an effort on when we were kids. But Sophie continues, on a totally unrelated note, I am those who are guilty of enjoying Spike's brand of toxicity in a way that he has always amused me, so I was never bothered by it. While today I can see how problematic it really is. However, Riley's brand of nice guy toxicity always gave me the ick. How he is so offended that Buffy won't open up to him, mind you. It has been less than 48 hours since she found out about Dawn and may have been acting a little strangely, like, give the girl some time to come to you. It always annoyed me how upset he got because he made it all about him instead of actually helping Buffy, like he had to be the one to help her. Circling back, while I don't condone any violence towards women, the way Spike casually walks up to Tara and punches her in the nose to prove she is human provoked a startled giggle gasp. Messed up, I know. But there you have it, the two sides of the coin that is toxic male behavior. Looking forward to seeing how you enjoy the rest of the season. Besos, Sophie.
Thank you, Sophie. Once again, I think I do like Spike when he is more of like an underdog. I just think about my good friend Buffy the Vampire Slayer, my good friend.
Your good friend, yeah.
I don't want my good friend to be dating that man.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm getting like a little tripped up, right? I'm like, don't date that man. Don't look at him. Don't look at her. Yeah. But I hear what you're saying about Riley. I just also feel like he already is feeling like she doesn't tell him shit and they've talked about it. So then it's just like it's like, oh, you're doing this again. So like, I think that
it's exacerbating an existing issue.
I also think that like, like everybody should have their own process time and she just found out something huge. Like what, right? Like, is she supposed to go run to Riley and be like, Riley, this is my shit right now? I mean, it's complicated. I think that they're in an impossible situation, and this is probably why every other Slayer in history probably hasn't had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Or even friends.
Yeah. We also got an email from Chris. Last episode, I wrote in, you said I was kind because I said I'd protect my sisters. To clarify, no, I'm a total bitch. I'm a Scorpio, so my true feelings aren't here for anyone, only some people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have a Scorpio friend. I have one Scorpio friend, and that is all I have to say. One. I can handle one of you. Because the amount of energy my good Scorpios take, I love them to death, but you little spicy little things.
Anyway, glad you guys like The Lady in Red, the same actress who brought us iconic Bring It On lines such as, "This is not a democracy, it's a cheerocracy, and I'm overruling you."
Yeah, she's the queen.
And now we know Tara is not a baddie, just severely traumatized by her family like the rest of us. The end of this episode was so important for me to see as a little queer boy. It made me feel like my super Christian parents couldn't hold me back from finding true love, watching Willow and Tara slow dance like Devin freaking Sawa and Christina Ricci. Casper reference.
Oh my God, how can I forget? Oh my God.
We remember Casper. We watched Casper.
They reheated Casper nachos in the cute little scene of them floating. Now I'm so depressed. I forgot about that. But
me
you're
too.
Right.
It's been a minute since we covered Casper.
That was
thank
our
you
first
so much.
bonus content episode, actually, I think.
A long time ago. Yeah. We also got an email from Andrew. I wanted to personally congratulate you for finally getting to the undoubtedly greatest big bad in the entire show and quite possibly my favorite character. No other big bad manages to be as simultaneously scary, threatening, funny, and seductive. Season 5 is my favorite season, and she's the main reason why. I love her so much, and I'd gladly be one of her minions. I think she's the only villain on the show that I might actively root for over the Scoobies. I'm getting too hold on, I'll save the rest of my thoughts. I'm getting too close to spoilers, so I'll save the rest of my thoughts for later down the line. On the subject of Dawn, I'll just go ahead and put Jess out of her misery on one particular point. The line in Dawn's diary at the end of the episode 2 makes no sense. Dawn has no idea there's anything special about her, and she has no discernible skills to speak of. So I have no idea what she was supposed to be referring to. I think the line was there to give the viewer a hint that there's more going on with Dawn than meets the eye, and then the writers forgot that Dawn doesn't actually know anything about where she came from. I guess Dawn saying that she lies in her diary is supposed to explain it, because that's the only reference back to it. Otherwise, it's never explained and it won't be addressed again. If you can't tell, I hate this little plot point. It's eaten at me for a long time. So I'm glad I'm finally not alone. By the way, that's really funny. By the way, I'm fine with Joyce giving Dawn special treatment. As a younger sibling myself, I am pro parents playing favorites.
Yeah.
Andrew!
You would, Andrew. You're not helping your case.
I know, Andrew. I was so with you, and then you just made Sarah. Why did you do that? You can't out yourself like that. You should have just said, I'm pro Joyce giving Dawn special treatment, and just ended the sentence there.
As a younger child, I like being treated like the special baby prince that I am.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I love that it bothered someone else though, the whole Dawn saying she's special. I was like, what is it? What is there about her? What is happening?
You know what she is? She's a younger child, so she thinks she's special automatically by doing absolutely nothing.
The way she is. That line. And then we have one more email from Justin. Somehow this email got sent to spam or something like that. So it's from last week, but we're reading it this week. I'd like you to officially meet my second favorite character in the series, Dawn. I know she's a much hated character, partially because of the reason you said. You thought it was going to be someone else.
Glory.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's Dawn. Okay. Yeah, I know she's a much hated character, partially because of the reason you said, how they put her in and act as if she was there the whole time. I wasn't the biggest fan of that too, but I came to accept it as her story developed. She's also hated because apparently she's whiny and childlike. First of all, she's supposed to be 14 when she comes into the series. How many young women at that age were mature? Not very many. As for the whiny accusations, she's no more whiny than Buffy, who at this point is an adult, Spike, or even Angel. So why do they get free passes, yet she gets hated on just because she's new? Remember in that dream sequence when Faith and Buffy are making the bed and Faith says for Buffy to be back before dawn? Winky face? That was the tease. Another email mentioned last episode. I love the joke of how Dawn wanted to be more like Willow and Tara, and Joyce freaked out because her generation can't handle witchcraft.
Witchcraft, quote unquote.
Yeah. The series continues after the show in comic form, and Dawn's early crush on Xander comes full circle as Dawn eventually marries Xander.
Ew.
And the two have a daughter named Joyce Harris.
Oh.
I can't wait to see what you think of Dawn, and I hope to see her eventually shoot up in your rankings as the series goes on. Wow, Justin. Wow. I'm with you though. I like Dawn. I don't see a problem with Dawn. She didn't have a ton to do this episode specifically.
Well, I liked her this episode.
Because she wasn't there.
She was there.
Okay.
She stood up for
oh yeah, she did stand up for
Tara. I thought that was
Giles
great.
was so sweet and like hid her under a desk. I did love that moment where he's like,
Yeah.
go hide under there. Very cute. Okay, next episode, Sarah. By the way, if you want to send in feedback, shit90spod.com, shit90spod@gmail.com.
Her name does bug me.
Dawn?
Yeah.
That's why we call her Susie. In my opinion, her name is Susie.
Because Buffy is such a cool name. And
No.
apparently it's just Buffy. Like
The monks just couldn't come up with anything better. They're like, what is that on the horizon? Dawn. Boom.
Dawn. Yeah,
Named.
I guess that tracks because like you would think that her name would be cooler, but whatever.
Joyce didn't name her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, season 5, episode 7 is what we're going to be covering next week with special guest Hannah. Title is Fool for Love.
Oh.
We doing Spike stuff? I think
yeah.
Spike stuff.
Blech. Sorry, I'm not available that day.
We're also going to be watching season 2, episode 7 of Angel, and this is one you're going to want to check out. Apparently, It is called Darla.
Oh,
so
Darla. So it's going to be a Drew episode.
Yes, so Drew will make an appearance.
Yeah, I did rewatch the Angel episode, but particularly the Drew scenes, and
yes.
I think I still probably would have missed the fact that that was Drew. Even if I watch closely, she's very unrecognizable, but yeah, great stuff, phenomenal. I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. It was fine.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So that's very exciting stuff. I'm really excited to watch the episode. Hopefully it's a good one. We'll see if it has to do with Spike or someone else in love or whatever the heck happens. But that'll be for next week to figure out. Anything else going on, Sarah? Anything you want to tell everyone about?
No.
Okay. You know where to find me. Talking Shit is where else I'm podcasting. And I recently guested on Tastemakers over on Rob Has a Podcast. So go check that out if you like movies and television. I talked to my good old friend Grace Leader. So but until next week, we'll be back talking about season 5 episode 7. Until then, here endeth the lesson.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.